Hi there. In this video we will be turning this air purifier, air filter, whatever you want to call it, from IKEA. It's a dumb device, no connection to anything, to your phone, to the internet, to anything. We will be turning it into a smart device with the aid of this TI DIY S01 TUYA enabled Wi-Fi, I don't know, controller. For me it's more like a relay. So, disclaimer from the start, I will not be controlling the speed of the fan. So if I leave it on step number 2, for example, it will be on step number 2 when this turns it on or off. I can turn it on or off from the phone. I can also set timers for it. It's cool. I could have simply used a smart socket relay or switch, but that's not how you do it. I don't like that, to have all sorts of things always plugged into the wall, and this then will be hanging even more out of the wall. Nope. This thingy is really cool because of the fact that it is powered at low voltage. So you can basically either power it via 5-volt USB, or you can power it through here, and I will show you in the manual what voltages it can take. And it's a really nice little device. As you can see here, all the info. So it works on the 2.5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. If you have a 5G router, make sure you select the 2.4 G, because otherwise this cannot connect to it. I've chosen this with TUYA because I have other devices connected through that app, so yep. If you connect it through USB, make sure your adapter can give you at least 500 milliamps, but we will not be doing that. We will be connecting it through this. You can give it either AC or DC from 7 to 24 volts. So that is a huge range. And this thingy, if I remember right, has about 19 volts or something like that. Actually no, 24 volts. You should be able to see it right about there somewhere. So we are right at the edge of this little device. I'm back. I had a daughter intrusion. This is how you connect it, but we'll get to that later. And it has two working modes. Inching mode, where it just connects for a brief moment, and you can use it to bridge the contacts for a momentary switch to turn things on, for example, and off. Or a self-lock mode, where you control lights and stuff like that. Self-locked mode for us. Alexa, Google Home and Siri can use this thing. So, next step for us, open this up and see what we have inside. Let's do this. Removing the first cover, removing the filter itself. Ooh, forgot to have a carbon filter. Remove that one also. Lots of filters in here. And we have a few screws all around. I think from what I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And maybe here, but I think these are for the motor itself, so probably we don't need to open those. Let me open this and get back to you. Oh no, my warranty. Sorry. That was a stupid joke. Okay. Houston, we might have a problem. There are a few safety screws in all of this, but do I need to also open those to open this thing up? I have safety screws, so the safety bits, so zero issue with that whatsoever, but I wouldn't want to open up more than I need to, but this doesn't seem to be moving at all, so let's open those also. They are little triangles, but not really... Ooh, what happened to this thing? It's really dirty. Not really exactly how this triangle that I have is. They seem to be flat. So, we'll see. No, I can undo them. We'll see if I can also put them back, but I can undo them for sure. Making a bit more progress, but I'm not sure if this will help or not. It seems it has a cover right here, so I just put the knife underneath it slowly and wiggling it around. It comes loose, so we have access to the PCB. Now my question is, do I actually need to go deeper in this, or is this enough? And I can cut the wires for the fan and it will stop the fan, but this thing has a reminder to change the filter. It activates, I think, once every 6 months or something like that. So this chip probably has an internal counter and oscillator circuit and whatnot, because I don't see an oscillator on the PCB anywhere. So if I leave this thing powered on, one, it draws power, not doing anything because it's not powering the fan because the wires are stopped by the relay, and it's counting, so it will give me 6 months, but maybe it worked only 20 days in those 6 months, because I don't always let it run. I run it when I want only. So I kind of need to be somewhere directly in the input, so everything, all the power is cut by our little relay right here, and the only thing drawing power is this when this thing is off, and this draws I think about 50 milliamps or something like that, so not that much. Oh, I should have searched before if I have enough room for my PCB in here, because if I don't, I need to open it up even more. Yikes. We're not out of the woods, so to say, but managed to open up one side. It had a clip here and one at the bottom, and they are extremely strong and stubborn, and I did not yet find a way of easily release them. Just make sure you don't cut yourself with something decently strong. I'm putting the knife directly towards my hand. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I cannot do this on video. It's an extremely well put together case, up to a level that it's actually becoming annoying. So you just go from I don't know, area to area. If you have two things that can be used for prying apart, you put one in, move the other closer. It's something like that. Just a game of chicken with this case. Hopefully we don't have anything inside that can be damaged, because again, there's no easy way of doing this. I will show you the clips a bit later. I tried thinking about it, doing this the smart way. Nope, nothing worked basically. So brute force, and as you could see, it almost by itself decides, okay, you've had enough of pain, let's unhook now. And there should be another one around here somewhere. Nah, it's... Nope. Finally. This one and this one. So we are in like thin. If you want to clean this thing up, I think you can actually remove this part somehow without opening up the whole unit. you can see it basically has clips, so this is somewhat removable. If I could actually do it. Am I breaking it? I don't think I'm breaking it. It has one more clip in here and a few on the other sides, but the 3 from the top are enough. So hey, yeah, at least it's really nice when it's opened up inside, and fairly clean, so that means it actually does filter the air. Everything that comes out of it is clean. So yeah, and here we have where all the wire sits. It cannot get into the fan. You can see this all around, and this edge goes into here, so the wire bunches up in here but not into the fan. That would be dumb design. So basically at the end of the day we are just connecting to these wires. So maybe I was wrong. These are actually directly our 24 volt wires. So something in here, 24 ground, clock and FG. Let's see where they are going. I think this is actually a smart motor itself. So the motor basically controls the speed by itself from what the electronics in here tells it. So the electronics doesn't change the voltage of the motor. It always gives it 24 volts, but tells it presumably, like in computer fans, those that have a steady voltage, not the old style that we varied the voltage, the ones, the PWM ones, it basically, the electronics tells it how fast to go, but the motor itself handles all of that. Since we are already here, let me show you the motor. All of that you can see inside, even the lower part, is the motor itself, and it's actually spinning. So the electronics board sits still, but the silver part in there has the magnet all around and it's spinning. So I think I will be putting this somewhere around here. Let me see if I get the wires out. Do I have enough room? And that slack that I gave the wire, I actually kind of need it back. Let's see if I get these wires out of the way, the wires for the fan itself. It's not easy, but I think it's somewhat doable. Huh. You almost cannot see it anymore. And I will take a good look in this part of the case to see if anything will go in there, because if anything goes in there it messes up my plans and it will not close anymore. But I don't think anything goes in there, which is awesome. And a side note, many people say IKEA have cheap products. Yes, for many well-developed countries they might be on the cheaper side, but what I'm seeing in this and what I see generally in IKEA products, they are built to a price. They are not high-end by any means, but the quality is there, the design is there, the safety is there. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see IKEA cheap. If this would be any other brand, it would be way worse made than this. I can tell you that for a fact. Even this fan is really well balanced. Hi fly, go away. 7 to 32 volts. So which is it? China special. I should search where's the microphone in this thing, because for sure it will record and send everything back to the mothership. Anyway, there's that. At least it seems well built. Yes, this was hand soldered, the through hole part of it, which is to be expected and normal. I don't see an issue with that, but overall the PCB looks good, so I think it's a decent quality product. I'm not afraid of it at this moment in time. So yeah, let's see how we deal with this thing. First, obviously, you need to undo the screws because they come closed. All of these are closed from the factory. So you simply undo them. The ones that you need, and I think another one in the middle I will use. And I will explain to you my connection idea. Hopefully this will work the way I want it. And my wiring is done. So now let's close this back up. Nah, joking. I need to tell you what I did here. So released this just so I have more slack in the wires to do what I need to. Make sure that when you cut your wires you have enough wire to reach in there, considering where you want to put this. As you can see, mine are barely long enough, but I can still slide this in, so shoo. But I would let them a bit longer next time. So what I did, the negative, and IKEA did a really nice thing. We have a line on the negative. You have this line, and the negative is a black wire coming from this, which connects there and goes to the wire with the line. It comes to this. We don't have a polarity here because this can take either DC or AC, so it handles any polarity that you give it here. So the negative comes here, but the wire continues into the unit. So the negative is always connected to this and to the PCB in the unit. We are cutting the positive. So the positive comes here to one of the connections that are controlled by our relay on the edge right here, and also comes here. So always one of the relay connection has positive, and also this PCB is always on as long as this thing, basically this is plugged in, so we can communicate with this. And when this clicks its relay, either from the app or from the timer, the positive that is here will be given to this middle. So will be given to this wire, and everything will be powered up. And kind of that's about it. We are just cutting the positive. Now, if this electronics likes what I did here and doesn't get some kind of ground loop or who knows what, so it starts misbehaving, we should be good to go. If it starts misbehaving, ooh, fun times begin. PCB with its face up, so in theory, if I flip the switch, we have light, the fan is going. Let's lower the speed of the fan. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. And I think this is waiting for a connection. So let me go into the app and connect to it. We have the switch here to connect it to a new device by pressing 5 seconds on it, but I think from new it's already searching for a connection. But I can also shut this fully off. That is not bothered because it has nothing to do with what's after it. Let's go into the app and do the connection. And we are in the TUYA app, and I have all my smoke sensors. I don't like fires, did I tell you that? So let's add a device. And I think in electrical, what they were telling us, be back in a second, I forgot. Yeah, we need to add socket Wi-Fi. Yes, my network, I need to input the password, be back in a second, and hit next. Power on the device. I think it is already in the connection mode. Hold the reset button for 5 seconds. I'm holding it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a red LED on it now. Okay, I did it. Maybe it was not in the connection mode. Indicator is blinking. Blinking slowly. Okay, I guess. Connected. Now I need to get back into the app. Connect anyway. And now basically I think we just need to wait or something like that. Initializing. And it's added. That's freaking awesome. Let's see. Spoof. Maybe you can hear it. Haha. It's working. Oh, little guy is working. Awesome. Yep, we are good to go. And you can see here timer, countdown, settings. We can change the name to whatever we want to. This is cool. Okay, this thingy is working perfectly, but it's late, so tomorrow we'll be making sure it fits in there and closing everything back up. I think we can also control it from the switch. Yeah, so basically it's exactly like I would control it from the phone. If I just press on the switch, if I long keep it, then it will enter again pairing mode and connecting mode and whatnot. But if I just press it, but I'm going to drill a hole in here, so worst case scenario, if it ever somehow gets disconnected, I can push with something on the switch itself. I don't need to open up everything right back up. But tomorrow it's late. I have lowered the PCB in here, checked, there's nothing to interfere with it. It's even this actually in the vicinity of it. Actually no, not quite the vicinity, it's below it, so we are in this area. So even if this were over it, it would still clear, but not even that. So we have zero issues whatsoever in here. I'm going to use hot glue, this type of stuff, to hold it in place. It works really well. I used it a lot of times. And when that is dried up or cooled down, basically, I'm going to close it and drill the hole. Actually no, first I'm going to drill the hole from the side, but I kind of want everything in place before I drill the hole. I know it's really difficult because I could slip and drill right through that switch, but I think I can align it a bit better if the PCB is already in a fixed position. I know it's kind of the wrong way to do it, but yeah. And it's in place, hot glue all around it. Yes, this clip will be harder to bend, so in the future it still bends if you look at it. But in the future this might come apart harder, but this one still can flex, so yeah, it should be okay. Overall, maybe keep it further away from it. Depends on you, but yeah, I did it like this. Hopefully it's okay. Wires have room to go where they need to go, no issues whatsoever. Tighten this in place. As you could see, it's a little, the wire is a little bit in this direction from the original place where it was tightened, because I needed a bit more wire. But yeah, didn't add wires, just used the existing ones, which are really good quality, really good insulation on them, and the strands in the wire also really good. So let's drill the little hole. Hole is done. Just want to show you that I nicked the button. So yes, when you make stupid decisions, you are really damn close to disaster. That would have been a really bad day if that button would have gotten completely wrecked. So don't do what I did. I tried to make sure the drill doesn't go all the way through. It did. This is actually a good plastic and it was fairly thick. So I slipped. Stupid. Really stupid, but also got lucky at the same time. Just a quick test before closing it up. So the glue is dried. The glue hot plastic. This is working, and I'm going to slowly push with this. Let me look through the top to align it. Ideally, you want to do this with a non-conductive stick, so then it doesn't really matter if you miss it and press next to it, because you can just realign. But if I miss with this screwdriver, I short something, so we don't want that. As you can see, stopped, press again, powers right back on. So I have a good way of pushing this button, not just for powering it off and on, because that will be done through the app on the phone, but just in case I ever need to reconnect it to something. And now I have this from IKEA Furniture. Oh, sorry, put my fingers in front of the camera. That's really professional. 2 plug holes, and I can do something like this. And my daughters cannot push anything through that hole now. If I need to, I get it out and I have access to that button. So now let me just simply put everything back together. Close this right back up. Again, cable is kind of tight because I don't want it going in that slot, but in theory there's nothing else that could get into that slot. So as long as I align everything, we are kind of good to go. You can see we have room in there for cables and for everything. Zero issues whatsoever. Oops. A bit hard to align. Just one last look. Make sure all the cables are in good position, and they are. Nothing is in the way. That's perfect. That was just a little bit of my OCD kicking in, wanting to make sure everything is perfect before closing. Sometimes it helps, you spot problems, other times it just gives you more work to do, because basically you kind of mess things up when you last open it. So we are closed, nothing moving, so the PCB is well and truly stuck in there. And if we want to put this thingy right back in here, this thingy, I mean, it locks from the top. It has some hooks, but it has also kind of hooks on the other side too, so not really sure which ones you should be putting in first, but anyway. But I don't think you would ever need to open this up, and as you can see, it's not happy to go back in. Maybe the other ones need to be in first and rely on the top ones. No, the top ones have pins that go into the hook itself, so I don't think this is serviceable. Maybe they did it like this just to have an easier to build mold for this part, and where they had a lot of holes they just molded the part completely separately. So it kind of sucks that I decided to open it up, but hey there, if I did it, you don't need to do it. And just a little bit of help from the screwdriver to make sure the clips go in and it's locked in place. It is moving a bit, but yeah, it is what it is. It was like that also before, so no harm done. PCB, as you can see right here, zero changes to it whatsoever. I'm going to try and see how I will keep my wires from going into the screw area. That's not really smart to have happen, I think. Or nope, on the top side. On the top side it seems it can stay easier. I'm just going to be careful. I should have left this cable a bit longer. Now it's kind of biting me in the behind, but it has a clip and it's in there, so shouldn't be any issues. If you can let that cable just a little bit, I wanted to say as much, but I don't think that's the proper term for what I'm doing here. Let me see how I can simply put this down in here. Again, one last look. Nothing moving, working. Switch is working. So we should be good to go. Yep, in theory we are good to go. Perfect. Now let's put all of the screws back. So yeah, I will do this off camera and get back to you. It's gonna be real fun. Word of warning, the rubber has these two pads right here, which need to slide into the holes, the cuts in the mold itself. So kind of make sure you align them and do not let it rotate when you start to tighten it, until it goes down enough to actually lock by itself, and then you kind of are good to go. So yeah, there's that. Let's do all of them. Working perfectly, and I think we can set timers. Yes, we can, and we can make it repeat every single day. So that's quite cool. I don't know, let's set it from 8:30. Where are you? Power on every day at 8:30. Save and add the schedule. I don't know. At 22:00, shut it off. Repeat every single day. Back, power off. Done. Save. So basically powers on at 8:30, powers off at 22:00. And that's exactly what I want. And I think you can do even more, like countdown and stuff like that until it powers off, but don't need any of those for what I'm doing here. And yes, you can change the name. As you can see, I changed the name of the device itself. And you can do lots of things, tap to run, yeah, cool. It's a really cool little device. So I'm going to let it do its thing for a few days and get back to you to see how happy I am with it, but up until now all is good. Just wanted to add, yeah, from shipping a bit of damage, there is more than one model. So the one with S02 actually has two relays inside and can control more than one function of a particular device, for example, which is cool in certain scenarios. You can see it right here. And it has a different shape from the other ones. Do I have any opened up ones? No, I don't. Let me quickly show you the size of it in comparison. So if you need something slimmer, yeah, you can go for this one, even if you only use one of the relays. Nobody's making you use both of them, but it will be quite a bit longer. So depending on what you need. The height is the same for both of them. Yep, the same height. So that's about it. I'll get back to you with how happy I am with them. Through this white plastic I can even see when it's off or when it's just connecting and it's running. So when it's off, the red LED is lit. When only the blue one is lit, it's actually running. And if it's flickering, it needs a connection. And you can set it after a power failure to be either on or off when power resumes. So that's nice. Now let's see how it works over time. And you can from the settings also disable that blue light if you don't want it. Nobody's stopping you, but for me it's okay. I don't mind it. It kind of shows I did something in there, so I'm proud. And this is where you set it on or off. I want it off. And momentary time, from here you set it if you want it to act like you'd just press a micro switch. But we don't need that. Something's fishy, so I will do some tests on another device to see if it behaves the same. Oh no, I know what I did. I wasn't careful about this. And I used the normally closed switch instead of the normally open part. So basically this should be on when this is red. Mine is actually off when this is red. And if we look in the app, when it's green it's actually on. But I didn't realize this, not having something to compare it to. I didn't really know. So now my purifier is working, but it should be working when it's green. Need to open it up. And it's opened back up. And that says that it can be open even if we stiffened this a little bit. So that's perfect. And we have two more holes exactly aligned with the screws, where we need to move one wire from this to the other end. That's gonna be fun, because the wire will not be long enough, obviously. And we're done. We are in the normally open part, and this was normally closed. We are basically right here between common and NO. And we were in NSC. Bad one. So yeah, there's that. And we're done. And obviously I needed to cut them because they were too long. So do it properly the first time. Anyway, and they are also glued in place now, just in case, because they were now a bit too short after I cut them. So yeah, it's nice. When I mess it up fully. I don't dig around. And finally, a red LED means we have power, and it's synced with what the app sees and shows. This was way more complicated than it should have been, and my camera not able to focus on this. Cool. Okay, so these have been working for a while now. Absolutely no hiccups or issues whatsoever. They do exactly what they are supposed to do, and it's perfect. Yes, this one is a bit weirder with 3 covers. The others are okay with only one tiny hole for the button. So that's about it for this video. We made this thing smart now. Smart-ish, because we cannot change this, but we can power it on or off remotely from anywhere and with a schedule. So that's about it. See you in the next video. Bye.